Same.
It's the first time talking. So yeah, my position is mindfulness is going to become very popular over the next 5 to 10 years. Do you want me
So
to explain
same.
why?
In the next 5 to 10 years, people are going to be much more mindful about their surroundings and society altogether.
Yeah, but also what's going on in their head.
That's very hopeful. Like that's really really optimistic of you. Well, let's get real.
Well, let me explain why.
I'm listening.
So, I think first of all, access to the techniques that are used in practicing these kinds of things is much easier, right? Because of the internet and YouTube and stuff.
We have many more resources than we used to.
Yeah. Yeah. So the other thing is, I think it's much more needed because I think, first of all, it's the idea of like getting a job and staying in that job for like your whole life is just gone. I don't think anyone buys the idea that you can really do that anymore. So I think there's much more of a shift to entrepreneurialism and just making your own job. But with that comes a lot of risk, and I think managing your mind when it comes to dealing with that risk is important. I think there's you can lose your mind being an entrepreneur if you can't control it, and I think so people are going to learn how to do that. I also had a chat on here about this a long time ago, where I was talking with a guy who's into I think he's studying neuroscience and stuff, and he brought up a very interesting point, which was that you've got those neurofeedback machines that you can buy now, where it just monitors your brain waves and so shows you on a chart, what's going on inside your brain, and I think that makes it easier to become aware of your thoughts.
Yeah. You can get your brain on paper pretty much. It's pretty cool.
Exactly. So those are my points. So what do you think?
Those are actually all pretty good points. You make a lot of sense. That's actually pretty logical. But it's still like,
come on, insult me somehow. Tell me something. Take me down somehow. You gotta.
I really want to agree with you. That's the sad part, is that I really, really want to agree with you. I would like to be able to say that mindfulness would be a very popular practice, but I just feel like people aren't mindful enough as it is, and they never have been, despite everything that we've. I'm sorry. Where are you? Where are you from?
I'm in Florida.
Okay, I'm in Michigan. So
okay.
It's all. I just feel like people won't be mindful because ignorance is the most common practice in this country. I feel like that's the truth. I feel like people they believe what they believe, and they believe what they've been brought up to believe.
Yeah.
They believe they were raised to believe. They believe what was implanted in their heads when they were still sponging everything in. Before they were able to form their own opinions, they let other people make those impressions and opinions for them, and they mistake other people's opinions and impressions. They mistake that with fact, and they run with that instead of being mindful, instead of thinking for themselves, forming their own honest opinion. How things are. They would much rather have someone else do the thinking for them, and then just believe that this is what's right or that is what's wrong.
I agree with that, but I think it has always been that way.
It has.
I guess I'm older than you. I'm 38. You look much younger than me. So. But it's always been that way, man. It used to be worse.
I'm sure. But there's this much progress, like every 10-year milestone.
Yeah. The other thing, what I was going to say in response to what you said was that I think it's interesting because the problem looks bigger now. It looks like everybody's more ignorant now, because you're getting all kinds of, you're seeing all sorts of things in the media that show you people's ignorance.
Dude, I'm going to interject there.
Oh yeah.
It looks like, I'm sorry, say that one more time. It looks like.
Well, I was going to say, like, to me, it feels like people are becoming more aware of the problem because
That's what it
social
is.
media and
It's
things.
not that there's more ignorance. It's just that there's more opposition to ignorance. So it's highlighted more. There's more of a resistance.
Yeah, I think the fact
Yeah,
that we are all more aware of the fact that there is a lot of just people who didn't make their own decisions and come to their own conclusions. I think there are lots more people becoming aware of this. So even though it looks like the problem is bigger, it's actually awareness of the problem that's bigger,
that's exactly what it is. This
which
is
is
a good
great.
debate. That's exactly what it is. These problems have always existed.
They've
They're just
always
being
existed.
reported now, you know.
They've always existed. Yeah, it's right. It's just that we're more connected. We're more able to access information.
We have more media to get these things out now. It's not we don't depend on Fox News is classified as entertainment.
What's classified as entertainment?
Fox News.
Oh,
I'm just yeah, but hold on. It's ridiculous. Like it's absolutely. Well, we have more media now as a whole, as a public. We can get things out ourselves. We can send the message ourselves. We can contact the globe ourselves if
yeah,
need be, and that is very, very resourceful, very helpful, and whatever it is we're trying to accomplish. But
absolutely agree. I think so. Um, I think that really, actually, whether the mindfulness that I mentioned is something that people practice, like they sit in a room like Buddha or something like that, right?
right,
Or they're hooked into a machine, or maybe they just sort of absorb awareness from other people. I don't mean like in a mystical way. I just mean like if
I
you
get it.
keep like the content coming through Facebook or through this app is that content is going to change people's minds
Mm-hmm.
subtly. Some people will make a conscious
Take
effort to go in that direction. Some will just
this more than
drift.
others. Some people are going to be easier to convince. Some people are going to resist more than others are. Some people I know how it is. Keep
Yeah,
telling me. I'm listening.
yeah. There you go. We don't have much of a debate on this, but this is a good conversation at
Yeah.
least, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, it's
But
interesting. It's
5
interesting
to
to.
2 years though, that's very hopeful of you.
Sorry, what the statement? The original statement's hopeful, or
Yeah, 5. Well, actually, I can see. I'll say 10 to 15. I'm going to see how this next election goes, how the next term goes. We're going to see the state that our country's in because right now, turmoil. But
okay. So let's take this
when
in a
was it
more.
not?
Let's take this in a more uh, confrontational direction, or,
I'm
like a. All
let's
right.
go.
So you're saying the election. Talk about politics is always going to get
That's
people
my arena.
excited. So let's do it. So you're going to see how this election goes. I'm interested to hear your take on that.
Wait, I'm sorry. How much interest?
No, I'm interested to hear your take on the
Oh,
election because you
they're all
mentioned the
buffoons.
election.
It's a shit show. To be completely honest with you, it's a shit show.
Yeah.
But we can only do the best with what we have.
Mm.
We're not gonna put the bigot in the office.
Okay, I want to hear you be precise there. Tell me exactly what you mean. You're talking about Trump. You must be talking about Trump.
How'd you know?
I don't think Trump's a bigot. I really don't.
Really?
I really don't. Now, I
I don't
think
think
that,
you mean that.
huh?
I don't think you mean that.
No, I really mean that. I don't think he's a bigot. I
Well, you should become more mindful.
well, listen. Here's the thing, right? We're
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there. I have a lot of different like mini thoughts related to Trump. I mean, yes, he's brash, and yes, he's in some ways he displays what we hope we are not, right? In some ways, he says things that we kind of hope on us, right? But are we kidding ourselves? Are we
With what?
really, like, is he maybe just, to me, he's unfiltered, right? I think he's very unfiltered. And I
That's it.
think, and now that could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? But to me, he's no different than the other politicians, except that you can really get to the core of what he is.
Yeah.
If there is actually a core,
I agree with
but
that.
that
Actually. I
Sorry,
can agree with that.
you agree with that? Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, do you like Hillary Clinton? Well,
None of us
like,
know.
you don't think she's a good person, obviously. You said that it's a shit show. You think both of them are garbage, but I don't get why it's preferable that. And by the way, I don't necessarily think Trump is garbage, but like, assuming he is for the sake of this discussion, I don't get why it's preferable to have someone who pretends not to be that versus someone who you can see for what they really are.
Because it's all about representation.
So it's all about what other people think of you.
Well, I'm not gonna. Well, as an individual, I would not agree with that. But
Okay, I'm just stirring shit with that one.
yeah,
Then.
you are saying shit. But as a citizen of a country, as a citizen of a global superpower, I should say,
Mm,
we have to be mindful that our leader is representative of our wants, needs, and concerns.
agreed.
Trump is not. Plain and simple.
Okay. Do you? All right. Let's look at it. So first of all, I don't think Trump would be bad. The only thing that anyone's ever said to me that would convince me that Trump would be actually bad is the nuclear weapons argument. That is a little bit scary. That's a little scary.
Had
But
one
I'm
hour briefing.
hopeful. Go on.
He had a 1 hour briefing and he asked 3 times in 1 hour, if we have the nukes, why can't we use them?
I'm not sure I believe it. So do you ever listen? I guess I'm much older than you. So do you know who Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew are?
No, tell me.
Oh, they used to have a show called Love Line, and Adam Carolla is. They used to do the Man Show as well, and Adam Carolla has a podcast with Dr. Drew, and Adam was also on The Apprentice, so he knows him very well, and he's kind of an insightful person. He gets a grip on who people are, and he says that Trump is rude. He's he'll cut you off in the middle of a sentence, and he can come across as a bit of a dick, but he's definitely not insane. Like a lot of people have been saying about the nuclear, a lot of people saying, "Oh, he'd do that." Adam said, "No way," and I tend to agree. That's my assessment as well. I think he would give the impression that he would push a nuclear button, but I don't think he would actually do it because he's using it to
So that's
put the fear of God into
is that
basically.
a tactic?
Yeah, it's like a negotiation tactic
With who? Because
with the world. It's like, hey, watch out! I'm crazy over here. I'm crazy. You don't want to
so
mess with me.
that's going to scare people into dropping their nukes on us. Then
No,
what?
maybe. Okay. So
Maybe.
no. Yeah. Good point. But good point. You may have won that one. All right, maybe I should drop that one.
Okay. Okay, keep going.
All right. Yeah. Good point. But the other point that he raised was, and I think it's a very good one, is I think his kids are really like spectacular examples of just classy individuals, very classy.
I don't know much about them.
They're just so poised, like especially Ivanka. She's just like, to me, she's kind of like a motivated person who's sort of like tranquil, comes across as very calm. And I just feel like if you were really a bad person, if you were like a malignant narcissist or something, your kids would be affected.
I have wondered that. I've seen them and they support him to the fullest. Actually, do they? Because didn't his son like not register in time enough to vote?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, but
Nah,
I think that
there's
was
a couple
genuinely
different
an
theories
accident.
behind that. But yeah, like you said, Ivanka, she's poised, she's calm, she's determined. But was she raised by him, or was she nanny raised? That's a good question. How
Well,
were
I
they?
don't know, but either way, she works with him, right? So she's
Well,
in
yeah,
proximity to him. She knows who her dad is, and so do the lads. So I feel like I don't know. To me, this is how I feel about Trump. I think he's very unpolished, and I think he offends a lot of people. But I
he's not
don't
a
think that his core is. I don't think his core is bad. I think he genuinely intends to do something good. He may be wrong in his approach to it, but and he may say a lot of things that are like very flippant and maybe not considerate of other people's feelings and stuff like that. But yeah, I think
So when
it's
you're
better than a liar.
when you're in the running, to be the new leader of the free world, and
Yeah.
you don't take into consideration the opinions and feelings of the citizens, where does that lead us?
Okay, so um, I mean I can see what you're saying there for sure. If you're not, so in other words, you should be a representative of the people, and the power should really be with the people, right?
I told you it's all about representation.
Yeah, but I think that's different than pretending that you represent the people.
True. That who are you referring to when you
And you
say
know, I'm talking about Hillary. I'm talking about Hillary. You know, but so this to me, this is what's really interesting, right? Is I think there's a slim possibility, but still a possibility nonetheless, that Gary Johnson could get in the debates. It's getting slimmer, to be honest. But if
I
he
think
did, I really feel like this year because there's so much, you
he's
know,
libertarian, right?
he's the Libertarian Party, yeah, but he's not really a strict libertarian, I would say. He's sort of just he's pretty much just like he doesn't want to spend a lot of money and create a load of debt, but also he doesn't want to interfere with your life. I think that's kind of his position.
I think Jill Stein has a better chance than Gary Johnson, or she should have a better chance
But
than Gary Johnson.
she's not on all the ballots. That's the difference between them.
That's the worst part. So.
But I think she would be more popular actually than Gary.
Should be on all the ballots. The thing. I read her platform. I read Gary Johnson's. I know that he's pro marijuana. That's all I know, though.
I think that's all he cares to let you know.
Exactly.
He loves weed.
It's like, where do you stand on everything else? Like, I see you're trying to get the pot vote, but who isn't? Secondly, what else are you doing?
Well, his position is kind of. I mean, but what interests you? I can probably answer that question.
Just me?
Yeah, I mean about Gary Johnson.
Well, actually, I'm checking on his platform right now.
Oh yeah, okay.
That
old chestnut Google, eh? All right.
Right. Yeah, Google is my thing. His decision up to he's good on abortion. I think it says leave the decision up to the woman. He said that as of January 20th. Oh, that's 2001. Not even. Wow, this is so old. Okay, this is not up to date.
I'll see if I can find. I don't know.
I guess that's cool. Right.
Yeah, he's basically like pro gay marriage, pro women's rights and stuff like that. But at the same time, he's sort of pro us keeping to ourselves in terms of war, and not going and sending drones in every time we feel like taking some dictator down or something like that.
Okay.
That's pretty much sums it up. Plus, smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah.
That's pretty much.
That's his thing.
But I don't know. I quite like him. Anyway, how that ties into the other guys, I think, is and ties into the original conversation is I think people are so much more aware that things that the illusion that these main candidates try to convey is not actually the truth, and they have other sources. They have probably more understanding of how government should work and what they want out of it, and they've really given thought to it and stuff. It seems to me that this is the opportunity for the other candidates to step up and at least get a foothold in terms of, come next election, they may be able to, make more of a case that they should be on the debate stage at least.
We would hope so. The debates were trash.
Well, it'll be interesting to see Trump versus Hillary.
That will be interesting.
But anyway, back to the mindfulness thing. I think it's all related. I think the free information everywhere and people being able to talk to anyone, like we're having this conversation. Would we have ever met in real life otherwise? I don't know. But
this is something otherworldly. It would have been 20 years ago.
Yeah. So it's I think it's just something that is going to happen. It's almost like a trend that can't be resisted. So the mindfulness thing is. So it's exciting to me.
I don't even think that it's a question of whether or not it's going to happen, because we're seeing the trend. There's someone in my backyard. We're seeing the trend slowly come about, but the question is, how long is it going to take before people like you and I, people who are mindful and conscious and can think for themselves, how
Yeah.
long does it take before that itself becomes popularized? Or,
I think it's going to catch on quick, man.
15 years.
15 years, you think? I think 10 years was me playing conservative. I think 5 years is more like it. It depends, of course. You're probably going to have different grades, so we need to probably somehow be able to measure it and and take a gamble on it. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be 5 years. I think it's going to be everywhere.
Starts.
Sorry?
Mindfulness starts. What do you think it starts with?
Different things in different people.
Education.
Dedication, you said?
Education.
Education.
We're not even the public school system. We spend about 6% in our discretionary budget.
Do you think so? Because so I don't think that education is the beginning of it, because I think education is a lot of getting facts. I think facts are free now. You can get information anywhere now.
You can.
I don't know that more facts is the key. Maybe free access to facts or information is part of it. So maybe I kind of agree with you. Mm-hmm. But I don't think more school is the key to it.
Well, I'm not saying more school. I'm saying better school.
Better school.
I feel as though all the things that I learned. Seriously, I went to a charter school in the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan.
Right.
And I feel like I didn't learn anything that I needed to know about the world until my freshman year at university.
No, I agree. I agree with you completely.
Like I don't even know the real world. I thought high school was supposed to prepare you for the real world, and then they throw you into it, and it's like you're a bullfighter with a red cape on.
Yeah, it's like, here you go. Hey, sir, have you ever heard of bullfighting before? Well, we're going to try it out. Here's a cape. Here's a get out there.
World.
Yeah, I agree
Heard
completely.
Of the real
you
world.
get thrown out into the world and you have no idea what you're supposed to do.
Like what the hell is going on? No one teaches you how to actually be an effective adult.
No, absolutely.
And that's where mindfulness starts. If you don't know how to contribute to society effectively, legally, and everything, get the way you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're not going to know how to think. You're not going to know what to think is right, what to think is wrong. There are just so many different things. Some take effect.
I agree with that completely. I think that's one thing that's harder now, because back when I graduated from university, it was like, for me, it was difficult because I didn't want to go and get a job, right? Mm-hmm. I was kind of like out in the world without any rudder or whatever. But I think most people, they felt like they were on a path. It's like, okay, the next step is you apply here, and then you get a job, and then you keep on down that path.
Yeah.
But I think now almost nobody is on that. Nobody feels like there's a path they can take where it's like, this is secure, or this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. It's just kind of like,
yeah, everything's up in the air.
Yeah.
There's a risk for everything.
Yeah.
But they always try to tell you, why not take a risk? Why not take a risk? Some people do want to take a safe route, but it's like there's not even a safe route anymore.
It's really not. It's really not at all. I remember when I used to work for a pharmaceutical company, I would talk with guys who'd been there a while, and they would say things like, well, listen, they would say, oh, I really want to do this. And I'd say, why don't you do it? And they'd go, well, it's not, I gotta save this, and this is a safe job, and blah, 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 blah. And I was really into Dilbert at the time. So I was reading, his philosophy, and I kind of was just regurgitating it, I suppose. But I just was convinced that there was no security in that kind of thing. And actually what ended up happening was the company got bought and everyone got fired. So it turns out it was true.
Well, I guess there's a reason to be concerned.
Yeah. Anyway, man. All right, it was a pleasure talking with you. What's your username? Did I follow you?
It's underscore BRANMAN.
Okay. All right. I just followed you, so
I'll
I
follow you too.
will. I will see you, and I will find something to argue with you
Oh, you will.
another
We'll talk
time. All right, man. Pleasure talking with you.
about feeding you.